Hi again, everybody. Bill Phillips here on a Wednesday. It is 9-Minute Phill-Up brought to you by Valley Converting. Can't thank Valley Converting enough. Mike Biasi and the crew in T-Town, Toronto, Ohio, the Gem City. And it is a sunny day out. Well, maybe not a sunny day out, but the temperatures are up, which is nice. In the Ohio Valley, it has basically been, in the when you wake up in the morning in the single digits, teens, the wind chill. It's been very, very cold since the beginning of the week or last week, end of last week, but it looks like we turned a corner for a little bit in terms of getting some warmer temperatures. Might not help with any hopes of a white Christmas, but in terms of just, getting a little warmth in the bones, not too bad. So it is a Wednesday, and this may be the last 9-Minute Phill-Up for the year. Maybe. I've got a couple days off coming up end of this week. And then we are into Christmas week. No, I'll probably have a couple more. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. But anyways, I can't thank you guys enough for being a part of the 9-Minute Phill-Up. I appreciate it and all the comments. And it really does mean a lot that you would take the time to be a part of the 9-Minute Phill-Up. Of course, the 9-Minute Phill-Up is just a suggestion because it normally goes well over 9 minutes. But we have managed to reel it in a little bit. We're kind of sitting at that 15-minute mark. But I do enjoy talking, obviously. And if you guys give me some comments on the side of the screen, we can talk about just about anything that you want to talk about. And one of the things I want to talk about when we come back is ticket pricing. Have you had enough? I mean, I don't go to a lot of things anymore because the tickets are so ridiculous. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, some of these ticket prices. I get it. Everyone wants to make money, but wow, it's a bit much. I'm paying $500 to go see a 2-hour concert. That $500 is a lot of money, and I get if you don't have it, you can't go. And then if the tickets get all bought up, you want to go, and then they go on the secondary market, it may cost even more than that. So we'll talk about ticket prices. We'll talk about Taylor Swift, watching that documentary. The 6-parter, interesting, very, very interesting, and Oreo cookie. They're coming out with a few flavors coming up, so we'll talk about that and much more. But right now, we've got to talk about Valley Converting. Can't thank them enough, as I mentioned. They're in T-Town, Toronto, Ohio. If you have paper products you need recycled, taken care of, take them to Valley Converting.
Every piece of paper has a story. What if that story didn't end when you were done with it?
At Valley Converting, we turn your old paper products into recycled paperboard, continuing the story.
Locally owned and operated in Toronto, Ohio, bringing your paper to Valley Converting isn't just about recycling.
It's about supporting a cleaner, greener future for all of us.
We are here 5 days a week to help you make some green by going green.
And remember,
recycle for your future.
Mike Biasi and the crew in Toronto, Ohio, Valley Converting. Check them out. If you have paper products that you need recycled, they will take care of you. If you bring them enough paper, they will give you back some paper. So a lot going on there. We've got who's checking in? Marty's checking in. Never noticed it went long. Oh, Marty, I appreciate that. And I told my mom that one time. My mom, Marty checked in, never noticed went long. She said to me, she went about 45 minutes today. And I said, did you watch the show? And she said, yeah, I watched the whole thing. I said, well, was it good? She said, yeah, it was kind of funny, blah, blah, blah. I said, Mom, I'm just on a stream of consciousness. I know it's supposed to be 9 minutes, but if I get started on something, Marty and I, we've gotten into conversation before. You never know how long it's going to go. So, Marty, I appreciate that. Tell me about, I don't think we've had you on. I'm going to send you a question. And we've talked about, but Notre Dame, as they didn't make the college football playoffs. I think that's a sham. They should have been in. And then the other thing is they decided afterwards, and they're getting a lot of pushback on this and about not playing in a bowl game. And I don't think they have a problem with that either, because you have some guys that maybe headed to the draft. They don't want to play because they could get hurt. So what are your thoughts on Notre Dame not playing in a bowl game? Because that now is literally a glorified exhibition game, where if you're playing in a national championship situation, you have an opportunity. Marty says, don't get me started. We'll be here all day. There you go. I'm checking with Carol. Carol, thank you very much. Enjoy your day. You too. I hope you're having a great day. And I want to read a thing. Now, this is just it's a big event. It's one of the biggest sporting events, if not the biggest in the world, depending on if you go with the Olympics but for a single sport, it's the biggest one. A single sport would be the World Cup, men's World Cup, soccer, football, wherever you live. Take whichever way you want to say it, football or soccer. It's the biggest single sporting event in the world. More countries and people follow it than anything else. The Olympics, maybe they're bigger with everything else, but that's a bunch of different sports. And we have the Olympics coming up on WTOV9 from Milan and Cortina, Italy, the Winter Olympics. Looking forward to that. I'm a big Olympic fan. Love the Olympics. So that's coming up. But so the Olympics would be a situation to talk about as well. But I'm going to use the World Cup as an example, but you could insert the concert you last went to, how much that cost. Insert the last football game you went to, whether it's the NFL, college football. Insert, just going to the movies. I mean, I don't know. I get you have to pay for everything, and I get everybody's trying to make a profit, but some of these prices are just. I get it. If people will pay it, nothing wrong with it. We're in America. It's make your money. It's capitalism. I get it, but sometimes it's just a bit much. And how about this? So here you go, the World Cup. After this was a story we had on this morning. After widespread criticism over sky-high ticket prices, FIFA is now making a major change ahead of the next World Cup. FIFA is cutting the price of some World Cup tickets to as low as $60, following a global backlash from fans. So they're gonna make a move here. The discounted tickets will be reserved for the most loyal supporters, with some fans now able to attend the final for $60 instead of paying more than $4,000. FIFA announced Tuesday that $60 tickets will be available for every match at the North American tournament, which of course is going to be in Mexico. It's going to be in the United States and in Canada. The tickets will be distributed through national soccer federations, which decide how to allocate them to fans who have followed their teams at home and on the road. Officials say the number of discounted tickets per game will likely be in the hundreds, not thousands. So if they're going to play in MetLife Stadium in New York, which holds, I think, about 80,000 off the top of my head, that's a rough guess. So a couple hundred are going to be $60. So they're not really helping anyone out. And I guarantee you, once you get that $60 ticket, someone may sell it for more money. Let's see. Discounted tickets per game will likely be in the hundreds, not thousands. The new pricing falls under what FIFA is calling supporter entry tier. They're basically doing it to get some PR. They don't want it to be a PR nightmare. But while FIFA did not directly address the backlash, the organization says the lower prices are intended to better support traveling fans following their national teams throughout the tournament. The teams that are following, or the fans that are following, let's say England, let's say Spain, they've already bought their tickets. Whenever they went on sale, they've paid the big price. So the 60, it's just window dressing. They're trying to get people not to think about it. So it's kind of the magician. Hey, look what I'm doing over here with this hand. Don't pay attention to the other hand, which is where I'm making my trick. And then Marty checks in. Prices for concerts are ridiculous. Absolutely. And continues. Will went to get tickets to Megan Maroney this week, and they were $200 a pop. So $200 a pop, and she's a big time performer, but a performer like Taylor Swift, you could probably add another $500, $600 on it. And if that's on the second, let's say the show sells out, and he decides not to get the $200 ticket, but then he still wants to go, and you get it on the secondary market, you're going to pay $400, $500 for those seats. And it's just, I went to the movies recently, well, not that recently, but recently enough, where I was actually visiting my mom, and my mom and my aunt, they go to the movies on Wednesdays, because it's $5 Wednesdays at the theater that they go to. And they have all the, top movies and everything. So the new Jurassic World came out this past summer, and they said, we're going to go to the movies. We'll all go. So I get there, And the movies, so I'm thinking $5. I've got 4 of it, so $20. Then we'll get our snacks. It's still probably going to run me $50. Well, they get there, they didn't tell anyone that, oh no, we're going to charge full prices. So I went from thinking I was going to spend maybe $20 on tickets to $85. And $85, I think part of that was getting some refreshments. So it's just ridiculous, but I get it, but the big lounge chairs and all that stuff, I just don't know, I don't want to go and spend that much money. I can listen to, a concert in my car, basically. Now, I love going to concerts. I love going to games. But it's just, when's enough? I don't know about you guys, but you almost have to save up, and you don't know when. Sometimes people get surprised. Okay, are they going on tour? And I can buy tickets. It's Friday. It's almost as if you have to know ahead of time so you can save money for when the tickets go on sale. Or if you have enough room on your credit card. Speaking of superstars, I have to say Taylor Swift. My daughter came home from school. They have a new 6-part documentary on, I believe it's on Disney, and it's basically about the Eras tour. And I didn't go to any of the shows, but I do know some people here at the station that went. They paid about $700 a ticket. Again, that's where I'm like, wow, this is. But in the documentary, they even said they had enough interest in tickets. They could have done 250 concerts or 225 concerts around the world, and basically sold out all the places. So when the demand's that high, you can charge whatever you want. So, but the show. One of the things that she's just a genius. I mean, and it's interesting. You don't have to be a Swiftie. You don't have to be, but to watch, we talk about greatness a lot of times on the 9-Minute Phill-Up. Like, sometimes it's right in front of you and you almost have to recognize it. Now there's going to be people like, oh, Taylor Swift isn't that good. Okay. Maybe she's not your cup of tea as a performer, as a singer, the way her voice sounds, with the songs that she writes, but she is greatness. You don't sell that many records, sell out that many concerts if you're not absolutely fantastic and know exactly what you're doing. The thing that impresses me even more than her singing talents and performing talents is her business brain for how she thinks. People are playing, in Training Day with Denzel Washington, he says, we're playing chess, not checkers. She's playing chess and she's 5 moves ahead of the opponent. She's got it all laid out, what she's going to do, why she's going to do it, how she's going to do it. And she gets the best of the best to work with her to help her achieve all of these things. And the first 2 episodes, you just see her behind the stage presence, how she goes about her business. I don't want to do a spoiler. I think most people have heard this before, but giving out bonuses on her last tour. Every time there was like the Asian section of the Eras tour, the European section of the Eras tour, the North American one, she gave bonuses out to the dancers, the truck drivers, the roadies, all these people. And not just bonuses like, hey, here's a couple $1,000, here's $10,000, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you think, well, she can write that. Well, sure she can. But you see how much care she takes in putting together just the envelopes and the card she writes to put the note in there about the bonuses and how much it means to her to work as a team. And because that's the one thing, she can't do it by herself. And she has this team around her and they actually become a family. So if you're looking for something interesting to watch, if you're trying to figure out, well, what is everybody seeing this Taylor Swift? And I'm not beating the drum for Taylor Swift. It's so impressive what she does and how she does it. It's just amazing. So, but then you sit there and I go, well, shouldn't pay those prices. I still wouldn't pay that much money to go see Taylor Swift in concert. You're dropping $700? Nope. I watched the Eras tour on the couch with my daughter on the TV. Sounded pretty good. Looked like a great show. Probably have a great time. Now there's certain bands I might be willing to go and pay some money for, but there's a cap. There's a cap where it's just like, you know what, $500 a ticket for an hour show or a 2-hour show. Whew. I better really enjoy that. And that, that's a must see. Maybe the last time you're ever going to get to see him. And I've done that. I've gone to concerts in the past where it's been like, you know what, maybe this person, this band doesn't come around. I had an opportunity to go see Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul, and she was at Star Lake Key Bank, whatever they call it, in Burgettstown, Pennsylvania. And I went simply to see her because, hey, I liked her music, but she's an icon. And I was, and the great thing was I didn't really have to pay for the ticket, but I would have paid for the ticket because that's someone that, hey, if there's a few musical acts or entertainers that you want to see. Now, there's a big thing about the Rolling Stones. Story came out that they're canceling their tour for 2026. Now, Rolling Stones, I think everybody's pushing 80, or they're maybe already be in their 80s or whatever it is. Got to see them. I never saw them in concert other than at the Super Bowl in Detroit. Super Bowl 40, they performed at the halftime show. So I got to see them. And that was one of those things like, well, all right, well, I don't have to go see the Stones anywhere or pay to go see them. Not saying that I wouldn't pay, but it's just some of it's gotten ridiculous. Like Marty said, it's just too much. And now FIFA's coming out saying, we're going to give you a couple hundred tickets for each game at $60 a pop. But if you haven't been, you're just a big fan of soccer, football, and you don't have a chance to follow the national team, and the National Federation is going to pick the people that get these $60 tickets. Come on. All right. What are we really doing? We're putting some window dressing on it. So FIFA, please, you've got a great event. Don't do that. Don't insult us with that. You get a 60,000 seat stadium. It's going to be sold out. You guys got $100 tickets at $60. But the National Federation is going to pick who goes. Okay, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not buying it. I mean, there probably will be $60 tickets, but for the average fan that just loves watching soccer, and the only way you can go and follow the U.S. national team is by watching on TV, because they never come close enough to you to make a trip and follow them all over, you're out on that $60 ticket. And maybe you don't have the means to go and buy a ticket that's, $200, $300, whatever the case may be. So anyways, ticket prices. Oh, and excuse me. Oreo cookies. They're coming out with a bunch of flavors, and one of the big ones coming out is cookie dough. It's going to be chocolate chip. The wafer's chocolate chip with, so you're going to have to let me know what you think of that. I may have to try that because Oreos are my favorite, but, sometimes these flavors get a little bit out of hand. But you got to be willing to try them. See what happens. All right, that's about all the time we have for now. I will not be here tomorrow or Friday. So a little bit of an extended weekend. So hopefully I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully you have a great weekend. Enjoy the college football, pro football, concerts, whatever you're going to do this weekend. Have a great time and have a safe weekend, everybody. Remember the 2 rules: have fun and always try your best. Thanks for joining us, everybody.